So last night, 11 hostages released by Hamas, 8 of them children, 3 of them mothers. And many of those children, as we've just heard, were siblings, which is a step forward in the process so far. The Israeli side have complained regularly that the Hamas side have been splitting up families in their release of hostages. Also, one of the hostages released is a 12-year-old boy, which could suggest that Hamas is running out of women and children to hand over in its deals with Israel to retrieve Palestinian prisoners, many of them convicted on terror offences. Tonight, we're anticipating another set of hostages and prisoners to be swapped, almost certainly 10 or 11 in exchange for 30 Palestinians. And Hamas still have their high-value hostages to keep this truce ticking over. Among them, American civilians and also 5 reportedly female soldiers being kept by the terrorist organisation in the Strip. They are keen to keep this truce continuing, as are the Americans and Qatar and the Egyptians. But Hamas have the most interest in keeping that truce going because in the next stage of this war, Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister, says that there will be greater power and they will be throughout the Gaza Strip. Looking towards the map then, in the north, that is where the majority of Israeli forces are at the moment, where they have secured a great degree of the ground, but they'll have to push south through the Wadi Gaza should that ceasefire end later this week. Deir al-Balah is an area where there has been significant bombardment, and they will have to secure Khan Yunis and Rafah further south, significantly built up urban areas where some 2.3 million Gazans are in the south. Al-Mawasi on the southwest corner is an area of 14 square kilometres where the Israelis have designated it as a humanitarian safe zone where they will not conduct combat operations. The UN and other NGOs in the area say that this area is totally insufficient for dealing with the situation. They say that Gaza already has 8 refugee camps. It doesn't need a 9th. On the border then, the Rafah crossing, this pause in hostilities is going to be key for allowing more humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip. Some 200,000 litres of oil needed a day, according to those operating in the region, to keep the area sustained. And then on the southeast, the Kerem Shalom crossing. This is where the majority of the hostage crossings are taking place as they push through Egypt and then into Israel. So if that truce continues tonight and also goes forward into Friday, which is reportedly when Israeli commanders want it to stop so they can push on with the next phase of their operation, they will have to force down into an area with 2.3 million civilians. They will not be able to use the same degree of tanks and artillery that they did in the first phase, because if they did, it would be devastating.